I find meditation extremely valuable. It's something that I really enjoy, and I'm excited to be able to come on and share with you all and help many of you who've never meditated before to begin your practice. This will be mostly informative for those of you all who are interested in meditating. Most important is that you want to have a clean space, an area that doesn't have a lot of clutter in it, an area that doesn't have a lot of negatively charged items. And when I say negatively charged, I mean things that are like triggering or that make you extremely upset or bring you down in any kind of way. All right, so now let's discuss different meditation postures. You want to make sure that you're in a stance that doesn't promote sleepiness or doesn't promote a lack of focus or concentration. So you have a couple of options depending on where you are in your practice. So for my beginners, or for my people who have pain in their body, let's just say you have back pain, you have leg pain, knee pain, anything like that, you have a hard time just sitting on the ground. If that's difficult for you, you're going to start off with a chair, okay? And you're going to have your chair, and you want to make sure that when you're seated that you have your feet firmly planted on the ground. So it shouldn't be like a high chair like a bar stool or anything like that where your feet are swinging. You want your feet planted on the ground, and you want to have your hands on your lap. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, you have several options, but I'm going to go over two. Easy pose. Okay, we're going to start with easy pose. So easy pose is just having your legs crossed. You just have your legs crossed. Okay, this is one option. Okay, so that's easy pose. So that's option one for those of us who are seated on the ground. Option two is half lotus. And half lotus is what I do because my legs are tight. My hips are tight. My knees are tight. Okay, so half lotus is when you have your legs crossed, but you may have one leg over the other. Now, when I first started my practice, I started with my feet on the ground in a chair, and now I'm to a point, I would do easy pose. I did that next, and now I'm to the point where I am okay with half lotus, where it's not extremely uncomfortable. The next option is full lotus, and I can't even demonstrate that to you because I can't do full lotus. I'm not there yet. I'm working my way up. Full lotus is when you have both of your legs crossed some kind of way where they're both on your lap. Okay, one is here, and then the other one will be pulled and up on your other leg. I wanted to talk a little bit more about our posture and how important it is and why we have different options for you with the lotus or seated in the chair. It's very important for your spine to be aligned and to be straight. And in meditation, the belief is that having that straight spine aligns your chakras and it allows energy to flow. So we want to make sure we have a pure flow of energy through our chakras. And in addition to that, it promotes breathing, like you're able to fill your lungs up fully when you have your spine straight and the bottom of your body is balanced. So that's why it's really important to position yourself in those ways. So mudras, there are hundreds of mudras. That's the way you position your hands. And you all have seen statues of Buddhas and different enlightened beings or figures, and you see them holding their hands in different ways. You may see them like this, you may see them like this, you may see them like this. All of those mudras represent a different type of enlightenment, but we're going to go over 3 of them. Okay, so the first mudra is the one that many of you are probably familiar with but don't know what it's called, and it's the wisdom seal. There is a fancy technical term for it that I cannot pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, but this is the wisdom seal. Okay, and this type of mudra is supposed to promote feelings of spaciousness, and it's also supposed to be uplifting to the body and the mind. So that's one of your options, the wisdom seal. The second mudra that we're going to go over is the meditation seal. Okay, so the meditation seal looks like this. we place one hand over the other, like we're holding a little baby, okay? And you place that in your lap. This particular seal is all about balance. It's about aligning the right side and the left side of the brain. It's about connecting those two hemispheres with one another. And it's about unity and balance. So if you're in a place in your life right now where you're needing more balance, I would recommend that mudra. And then the third option, it's what I do at my monastery that I go to every week for meditation. And I think they call it a diamond pose. And basically, you have one hand, you take your thumb of your left hand and you insert it into your right, and you just lightly grasp the other hand and you sit that in your lap. This for me is the way that I was trained to meditate, so this is very comfortable for me. Like just abundance and just acceptance. We can also do this with our hands just open on our laps. So let me tell you a little bit about the symbolic meaning of the mudras, the way you hold your hand. In Eastern religion, they believe that allows the life's force to stay within your body. So you're like, this provides a seal for you. So you have to do something to seal your practice. Be conscious and aware of what you're doing with your hands or your mudra, because that ultimately seals your practice and is very important in meditation. Okay, so now let's move on. What are we doing with our faces? What are we doing with our mouths? A lot of times as stressed beings, we have a tendency to just hold stress in different parts of our bodies. I know for myself personally, I hold a lot of stress and tension like in my face and my mouth. So, you know, you clench your jaw. You know, sometimes we're doing this and it's not even conscious that we're doing it, that we're clenching. Or we may furrow our brow, or, you know, just have a very stressed, hold a lot of stress in our faces. So when we're meditating, we want to be conscious and aware of that. You're going to relax your jaw, and then you're going to rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And just see how that feels. It's just different than having it, or like trying to force your tongue down to the bottom of your throat. No, you're going to let it be at the roof of your mouth, and you're going to hold that lightly. Okay? When we're breathing with our mouths closed, through our nose, and out, anytime you're breathing that way, you want to make sure you're resting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And with our breathing, we want to make sure it's a natural breath. That type of breathing is what you're going to experience when you're deeper in your meditation. And there are a lot of different types of breath. A lion's breath is a cleansing breath. So it's a way to like detoxify your body, or release low energy, low frequency, low vibrations. You know, so it's a great way to start your practice. Okay, it's a certain way of breathing, a way of breathing that you never do in your day-to-day life, okay? So with a lion's breath, you're going to take a breath in through your nose, deep breath in through your nose, and then you're going to have an audible exhale. So, and like I said, it detoxifies the body, it releases like negative energies. And let's talk just a little bit about how we come into the practice. You need to start your practice with an open mind. I don't care if you've never meditated before. You have to enter into meditation believing that it will work for you. You have to believe it. If you don't believe it, there's already resistance, and you're not going to be as successful as you would be without that resistance. Secondly, you want to come in with an intention. Just an intention. What are you trying to accomplish or achieve? And don't make it complicated, because the whole purpose of meditation is to calm your busy mind, is to quiet your busy mind. So you don't want to come in with like just a whole plan. No, come in like open, like, you know, have a plan, but you have an intention. And a good way to have an intention that isn't heavy, or an intention that isn't gonna make your mind have too much chatter, I recommend having a word. One word. One word. Peace. That's it. That's your practice. That's your intention. Love. That's your intention. Light. That can be your intention. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be a word. Visualize a color. Just a color. That's it. Just a blank color. Blue, pink, gold, silver. It just really depends on where I am, and I don't overthink it, and I don't question like, oh, what does this color mean? Like, no, just think of a color. Also, you can come in with just envision light. That's it. Light. That's your intention, to be bathed in light. And just envision light coming from you, from the center of you, from your heart center. Just envision light. And that's it. Just start there. I have so many people who are intimidated by meditating, are so concerned about, well, I can't calm my mind down. I can't stop thinking. The purpose of meditation is not to be totally quiet in your mind, because that is the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is to have chatter and noise, and that's why people practice meditation, because it's not something that comes natural. The quiet mind, especially in our society, or having the expectation that your mind must be completely clear is frustrating for a lot of people, rightfully so, because it's very difficult to achieve that. So focusing on a word or a color or light, I have found, makes it a lot easier for me to transition into a meditative state. When I first started meditating, I would meditate about 10 or 15 minutes. Now I'm to the point I can meditate for about an hour, and it doesn't feel like an hour. It feels about 10 or 15 minutes. And but that's how I started. I started with just like thinking of a color, a word, or even with my breathing. You can focus on your breathing if you need something to focus on. Like, so just focus on the air between your nose and your lip. And it's very subtle. And that takes concentration. And it kind of brings you in and centers you. When I first started off, I would try to envision, like, okay, I'm this scene. I'm on a beach, and there's waves, and there's seagulls. And that would stress me out, because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to envision and imagine all of these things, and instead of allowing my mind the space to just be open, to be quiet. So I learned, okay, I can't do all of that. I can't think about all of those different things. Like, I can't use my imagination in that way right now during this meditation. Just a word works for me. But now that I'm more advanced in my meditation, I can envision a whole scene. I can envision a walk. I can, almost like transport myself to other places. But it took months of practice for me to get to that point, and even that is difficult for me to hold. And I only practice in that way when I'm feeling pretty calm within myself. I'm in a high frequency anyway, so it's easy for me to transition into that. It's more comfortable for me during those times. But I promise you, it's something that anyone can do. Anyone can do. It's one of those, just something that we're blessed with, even having the opportunity to create space in our minds as like thinking creatures. We can do that. We can make a decision to quiet our minds. Practice on your own. And if you have any questions, feel free to inbox me. I'd rather say DM me. I'm not great about my messages on Facebook because I get so many of them, but you can hit me up on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I have so many followers on Facebook, not hardly any on Instagram. Follow me there. My name is Black Girl Yoga Body, spelled BLKGIRL Yoga Body, just spelled traditionally together, Yoga Body. You can find me there. Any questions you have, hit me up. And yeah, let's do this. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.